What is good, Spaghetti fam? Welcome back to another trade recap of the 450K challenge that we are running. Today is day 6 of trading. We're almost done with the second week of trading, right? I haven't been trading every single day, which is why you might see some jumps, but this is going to be trade recap for yesterday and today. Now, today, as you can see, we hit one break even. All right, trade, and then one full 1 to 2.07 W straight off the bat, massive trade, which allowed us to get 5K profit for the day. Now, the reason why before I get into the good stuff, we got to do the bad stuff, and I need to be very transparent with you guys, right? Because that was my promise to you guys, that I'm going to be transparent throughout this whole process. And yesterday was a really bad day. Yesterday, we had a bearish bias to previous day low. Price went all the way down and dumped to previous day low. Perfect shorts, perfect entries, but we didn't take them, right? We hesitated on the entries. We wanted better conditions. We wanted perfect entry, even though the entry that presented itself was more than good enough, right? Like with the bias and how good it was delivering, we should have been in there. Our target on the day got hit, right? Our bias and target got hit. Everything played out. And at that point, I should have told myself and the Discord, our target's been hit, our bias has played out without us. It's time to hop off, right? Because when your bias gets hit and everything that you wanted to see happen already happened, anything past that is not going to be logical. It's not going to be A+. It's not going to be high probability because the high probability target already got hit. And at that point, should have been like, yo, hop off stream, hop off trading. That's it. And instead, what did we do? We tried to take longs with tight stop losses. We tried to take continuation shorts with tight stop losses. When after the target gets hit, market moves sideways for a little bit, right? Like, I know that when we make a huge move, what tends to happen is market chops. I know that, and I didn't listen to myself. I didn't listen to my instinct. I didn't hop off the charts, and I ended up losing hella bread, right? Thankfully today, we made half of the loss back. Okay, yesterday I lost around 4K on every account, which is, that's way too bad. That is way too much. Lost 4K on every account. Today, I made back like 1.5 on every account. So, still in positive on the week, because Monday we hit back to, Monday, I didn't trade. Tuesday, we hit back-to-back winning trades that put us up huge in profits. Yesterday, lost all of that. Now today, back up in profits, but damn, like yesterday, dude, that was bad. Yesterday was bad. Broke my rules. And it's not fresh, right? I'm not proud of it. The accounts are sitting at 154, right? So before Wednesday, they were sitting at 157. To give you an idea, right? Before Wednesday, they were just sitting at 157. So I still need to make 3K to get back to what we were at before Wednesday. That's how bad Wednesday was. Thankfully, I didn't blow the accounts. Thankfully, I managed to save them. But yeah, yesterday was just bad mental. Need to set a tighter daily loss limit for sure. Got a little too greedy. And yeah, but that's my mental trade recap for yesterday. I don't want to go back into the charts and try to find the trades because I don't exactly remember what I took. Right after that happened, I closed my computer and I went outside and I told myself I can't think about trading anymore. So I do apologize that I didn't post a trade recap, but I genuinely needed space from the charts. I needed to just close my computer and walk away. So that's what I did, right? Because discipline in trading before everything else, before content, before social media, before the Discord, before myself, right? Discipline and knowing when it's time to hop the fuck off. Even though like it was before that was the time. This is delayed, but at that point I was like, I need to just close my computer and walk away, and I did that. So apologies for no trade recap, but mental goes first. That's the most important thing. And let's get into today. So other than the fact that I woke up fucking 10 minutes before market open, I did really have a neutral bias coming into the morning, right? Because one, very important, we took out this 4-hour key level that I've been wanting price to take out for a while now. I literally said it, I think, yesterday on stream, that I wanted to see these 4-hour lows get taken. I'm going to mark it out in blue. This was a huge draw for me. I wanted to see that get taken for me to have a higher time frame bullish bias. Okay, that did get hit. Now, on the lower time frame though, we had this 2-hour bearish gap. So my condition was I'm going to be bullish until this 2-hour gets filled, and then I'm going to have a neutral bias after that 2-hour bearish gap gets filled. What ended up happening, and neutral bias is literally where I am just going into market and I'm going to react off of what the market is saying and doing, right? I'm not going to be married to a bias. I'm just going to react to what the market is doing. So bullish on the higher time frame, neutral on the lower time frame. Let's go to market open. Where is market open? Market open is right here. Okay, so at this red line, you can see that we have not tapped into the 2-hour yet. But what ended up happening is that we weren't able to catch longs to that 2-hour unfilled, which I wanted to catch, because market opened lower. Okay, we manipulated lower. We retested this 4-hour bullish gap that made me super bullish. And right at market open, we manipulated lower, and there was a 30-second inverse to the upside targeting that unfilled 2-hour. Now, this was definitely the best trade. The best long, I would say. Not the best trade, but this is definitely the best long targeting that 2-hour unfilled gap, right? Because before that 2-hour unfilled gap, what did I say? I had a bullish higher time frame bias, right? So this would have been a perfect trade, except that I wasn't even paying attention to the 30-second. I was still getting into the zone. I woke up kind of late and I missed out on this 30-second. Bang. Now, do I still maintain my strong bullish bias after tapping into the 2-hour bearish gap? No, right? Because I told myself once this 2-hour bearish gap gets hit, I'm going to have a neutral bias. That doesn't mean I'm going to have a bearish bias, but it means I'm going to have a neutral bias, which means I'm willing to play both sides of the game. Then we tap into this 2-hour bearish gap. ES creates an SMT at London highs, okay? Because as you can see here, we came up and took out London highs when we tapped into the 2-hour bearish gap on NQ, and London highs is still above on NQ, creating a bearish SMT on the higher time frame. So at this point, I'm like, hold on, right? Because we have this low resistance liquidity, we have this hourly low, these 2 hourly lows that I could definitely see price wanting to come down and sweep before going back up again. But I'm going to set conditions, right? I'm not just going to take the first trade that I see. Now, price comes back down and we inverse the 15-minute bullish gap that we were bouncing off of at market open. So we inverse this 15-minute bullish gap, gives me a little more confirmation to be temporarily bearish, and then we create a 5-minute bearish gap here. Now, what ends up happening is that we tap into a 4-minute bearish gap, okay, and we have a 30-second inverse out, right? This is a very early entry though, okay? This first one right here, I'm pretty sure, yes, yeah, this was a 30-second inverse, okay? So we have a 30-second inverse to the downside, but what is in between me and my target? My target being this low right here and this low all the way down here. What is in between me and my target on this 30-second inverse? There is 2 30 seconds. So not only one 30-second, but there are 2 30 seconds that are in between me and my target. So what do? I take the first 30-second inverse right here. Okay, this is where the 30-second inverse, I waited for a little pullback and I got in right at this middle point. The only reason I got in is because it was a 30-second inverse targeting the next 30-second inverse as break even, and then to the ultimate target below as my TP. The second we got in, price came down, tapped into the second 30-second. So what did I do? I moved my stop to break even. If this 30-second, the second one, would have inversed, then what I would have done is actually moved my stop back up, right? I would have moved my stop back up to the high because now there's nothing in between price and my target. I can give this trade some room to breathe. But I was like, all right, I'm going to go break even the second we tap into it. If it gets inversed, I'll move my stop back up to its regular position. What ended up happening is it hit the 30-second, reacted bullish out of it, and came back up to tap into the 5-minute bearish gap. At this point, I got break even on the trade, but I don't care because now we get an even better entry on shorts. We tap into the 5-minute twice, and then we have a 1-minute inverse, okay, after creating another bearish SMT at the high. So let me see when this was. This was right here. Exactly, right? So we created another bearish SMT on the lower time frame. So we have the higher time frame bearish SMT at London highs. We have the lower time frame SMT on the 5-minute level right here. And then we get another clean 1-minute inverse to the downside. So this is my condition to enter the trade. We get the 1-minute inverse. I wait for a little pullback and I smack it at a 1 to 2 with my break even being this internal high. This internal low right here. And that was my full TP. I got out there at a 1 to 2. That was my final trade on the day. And I locked myself out of the account after that, which felt really good to just get in the markets, get a break-even trade, not lose any energy, hope, conviction, nothing. I knew there was going to be another entry. Took the 1-minute inverse to the downside. It fucking banged, and then I just locked myself out of the charts, which feels really good because now I can just go on with my day, no stress, and yeah, really happy about that. So bang, that is the trade recap for yesterday and today. We are currently sitting at 4K profit on all of the accounts, which isn't good, which isn't bad, right? Because 4K profit times 3, if this was a funded account, that would be a 12K payout, right? So we're still moving on. I want to show you guys the process of me passing this eval, but passing it the right way, right? I don't want to just YOLO it, right? If a 150K account with 12K profit target takes me 3 weeks to pass, then that's completely normal, right? Because if it takes me 3 weeks to make 12K, then it takes me another 3 weeks to make 12K on the funded phase. Then in a month, I just made 12 bands off 3 accounts, which is fucking fire, right? So just going to keep going with the process, keep going and keep going. Also, I forward tested this long and it ended up playing out, but at that point I was already locked out of my accounts, but great long that presented itself. Continuation to London highs after the resweep of the low. So if you guys took that, it's a pretty fire trade. Happened right here after the continuation. Either way, that's the trade recap for today. Love you guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning at the same time every day. If you're not in the Discord, join so you can trade live with us every morning for free. Link is down below. Code SPAG on any prop firm. And yeah, peace.